It is a
Me
Tuesday. It's the 7th best day of the week, after all. So they say. But tonight we've been blessed. James Gunn has come down from the heavens and blessed us with new DC film projects. And thus we shall talk about them.
That's where we're going to start. Yeah.
You want to run down the slate for us?
Oh boy, here we go. All right. So let's start with this. We'll run down the whole slate and then we can kind of dive in deeper on the other stuff. So the stuff that was already, most of the stuff's already in the can. So we have Shazam, Fate of the Gods, or Fury of the Gods. We have the Flash movie, which according to Mr. Gunn is basically going to be like a weird soft reset a la Flashpoint and New 52 from the comic books. So I think that's what's going on right there. Then you will have Blue Beetle in August and Aquaman 2, which is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. That comes out on Christmas Day. So there you go. Now we're in, right? They've got it locked out. Then they're moving into chapter 1, what they're calling Gods and Monsters. Couple things about this. So this will include animated and live action stuff, right? And their goal is to use the same actors for the animated as the live action because they will go back and forth between animated and live action. So we have Creature Commandos, which is the first one out the thing. It's been greenlit. That's an animated series. Waller, about Amanda Waller, I'm presuming, which is another live action series. And then we get our new Superman, right? And what's interesting to me, and we'll come back to this, is they have a release date for this already, and it's not that far away. Yeah. Superman Legacy is slated to release July 11th of 2025. Then we have Lanterns, which will be a live action series on HBO Max. The Authority, which will be a feature film. Paradise Lost, which will be another live action series on HBO Max. And then this is the one that I'm actually from the films looking forward to the most is Batman the Brave and the Bold. Don't have a date on that yet. Booster Gold, which will be a live action series. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, that will be a feature film. And then Swamp Thing, which will also be a feature film. Now, but what about the Matt Reeves Batman and all the other stuff and the new Joker movie? So, DC got smart. They got smart. So in the comics, they have the Elseworld titles, which are alternate universes. They're actually going to do this for the films. And they're going to have a separate brand that they will show at the beginning. They're like, this is a DC Elseworlds production. So, in that running series right now, the next film to release under the Elseworlds title will be Joker Folie Ado, which releases October 4th of next year. And then we get The Batman, which is the Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson version. The Batman Part 2 will release. And they have a release date on this, too. October 3rd, 2025. So now that they've got a release date, obviously that tells us Matt Reeves is pretty close to the script is done or pretty close, and they're getting ready to start pre-pro. Teen Titans Go, which is going to continue, and Superman and Lois on the CW, which so far is the only CW one that does not have an end date. So that's
ironic of all the ones in the CW. That's the one that's continuing on.
That's the full slate. That's everything they released. Now, James Gunn also said this is not everything that's going to be in this chapter 1 and their full slate right now. This is just where they're at. Mallo, your first impressions.
Confused? Because why continue having things like the Batman and well, first of all, fuck Ezra Miller. Let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Fuck Ezra Miller. Fuck Ezra Miller and fuck Ezra Miller.
They did do some interviews in regards to this slate with both James Gunn and Peter Safran today, and we can talk about that. The movie's in the can, and they spent so much money. They've got to release it.
It's the sunk cost theory on that particular one, though, and they're using it as their soft reset.
Here's the thing. I think it's good to use it as the soft reset because from a storyline perspective, it makes sense with Flashpoint, and 2, you're getting rid of Ezra Miller.
No, that's not the thing, though. That's the thing. They have said that they have not confirmed they're getting rid of any of the people besides Henry Cavill.
It's PR speak. Well, and Ben Affleck. from the Snyderverse. It's PR speak. I don't think they're going to bring back Ezra. I think he's done.
I would hope so. Like, there's
Or
no
they're
way.
done.
There's no way that they should be continue with what they've done so far.
Safran's statement today was basically, we fully support Ezra in their recovery. They're totally devoted to the recovery. We're not going to interfere with that. You're not going to see, as we run up to the Flash, you're not going to see Ezra at press junkets. They're not going to use that. I think that's why the previews have mostly focused on Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah.
James Gunn said in the announcement video today that it's one of the best films he has seen. From everything that I've heard too on the places that I consider reputable sources, apparently it's like, that's the problem that Zaslav and Gunn and all them have is apparently it's really, really good. And it's I can only imagine that they're pissed that it's this good and that their star is just completely borked it up.
Yeah. We're talking about the Flash film. We're just getting into our DC and Batman and everything talk.
Yeah. So we just ran down the whole slate. We'll go through them one by one.
Yeah.
All right.
But I'll just, here's the thing that I will say, just at the top level, because you asked me. This is a confusing lineup. And
a couple things confuse me, a couple things don't.
I'm very. There's like 5 different Guardians of the Galaxy movies that are in here that he's trying to put out, and that concerns me. It concerns me a lot.
Yeah, I see 2, 3.
That's more than a couple. That's few.
Yeah. Is there any on this upcoming slate that you're like, yeah, let's do this?
No, that's the thing. There's not a single one of them.
Really?
No.
So you're one of those DC fans
Batman, I wouldn't even consider myself a DC fan. I would consider that I don't want to deal with that drivel that they have put out in the Snyderverse. It was terrible. Well, and there's nothing that James Gunn said today that got me excited. That's the problem.
Okay. I mean, that's fair.
At best, the brave and the bold. Because I want to see a petulant child wanting to stab Batman in the back for 50 fucking episodes for all I care. So,
many of the things said they haven't enjoyed. But we had a lot of people in the chat who were saying they just don't like DC. Here's the thing. So, taking the Elseworld stuff, let's start. So the Batman, I loved the Batman. I thought the Batman.
You thought it was good, yeah. You did think it was a good film.
I am looking forward to the Batman Part 2. So I'm glad that with this weird stuff reset, I'm glad they're doing Elseworlds, and I think Marvel should do something like this too. Because the nice thing is, with this, they can do different, weird, cool stories without having to worry about a connected continuity. And
but that's not what he's setting up. They are going to set up a connective continuity.
Yeah, but it's different. So, like, the Elseworld stuff is specifically designed to not be within that continuity.
Right.
So they
it's
can
the
do
Fox
weird
Studios.
stuff.
It's the Fox Studios to the Marvel. I get that part.
Yeah.
Of it.
And so I like the fact that they can do something different there, and I'm looking forward to the Batman Part 2. I didn't care for the Joker. I don't.
It was okay.
Joker Folia Doe. Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn. I mean, it's a novelty, but I'm honestly not expecting much out of it.
How many different women are playing Harley Quinn these days?
3 now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would, like, in short span, yeah, because you're gonna get Kaylee Cuoco, who does the animated Harley Quinn.
Yep.
Margot Robbie in our Suicide Squad version, and then Lady Gaga in Joker Folia Doe.
Yeah, Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn. Go figure. I mean, Lady Gaga can act. Like, let's not say that that's a bad cast by any means. It's just it's a confusing cast because you already have Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn as far as I'm concerned. So,
yes. Yeah. Somebody has just said Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn. What? Yep, that's the thing that's happening.
Yeah. Here's the thing that I'm most interested in. We'll start here. Let's go down the slate. We'll start here. The only port that I am interested in is this Waller stuff because it's the only continuous story that they haven't screwed up. Like the Peacemaker stuff was okay.
And Viola Davis is a great Amanda Waller.
Yes. She when she speaks, you want to listen. John Cena as Peacemaker is good. Some of the other,
Creature,
people that they have around them, pretty good. Not bad.
Creature Commandos I had to look up because I'm not familiar with that particular title. Again, this is the one where you made your comment about I see a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy in here.
100%.
This is a very Guardians of the Galaxy. It's classic
Actually,
horror
no.
people.
This is not the most Guardians of the Galaxy one.
Well, you got Medusa and Frankenstein's monster, a bunch of people, and in the original comic, they recruit all the horror monsters to go fight Nazis in World War II. Sure.
I don't think that's what it's going to be this time, obviously.
I don't think so either. But again, sure. I'm not particularly interested in that one. Waller's okay. Gunn had previously said that Superman is the backbone of DC, and he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They've got this slated Superman Legacy for July 11th, 2025.
Now, mind you, he's still writing.
No, he said he's done. He said he was
February.
done. I imagine he's got his drafts done.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If they're this close, they've got it cast. And I'm actually surprised that they didn't announce who it was.
They needed to kind of win, but yes.
This is just over 2 years away, and it's a Superman movie, so it's going to be heavy in post-production. From what Gunn has said about what they want to do with Superman, I think it could be an interesting story. I want to see, I know Gunn's writing it. I want to see, is he directing it? And also, who did they cast as Superman? Who is Superman now in your connected universe?
Who is going to carry your connected universe for a long time? Because they're going to have to.
Yeah. And
we're talking 10, 20 years worth of this to do it properly.
Yep.
And not have to do another reset in another couple years because of the way
that's what
he
said. This starts with the 8 to 10. I think that's why they're going young. That's why I gotta imagine. I'm guessing that the person they cast is probably between the ages of 28 and 31. Because my understanding from previous stuff that Gunn has said is this is going to be Clark right after college, like right as he's joining the Daily Planet. Young Superman. Which fitting in with the Batman is kind of interesting because those two are connected. So I'll be curious to see that. Lanterns is one of the two of these that I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what they do. The way he described it was, so it's not one Green Lantern, it's two. Yes. So it's Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, right?
Loved him in The Daily Show.
Okay. Assigned to Precinct Earth by the Lantern Corps, right?
Yep.
And it is True Detective style.
No. The words, no. They said buddy cop team up, not True Detective.
He said True Detective. He said True Detective. Hang on.
I'll go back and pull it up. I just saw buddy cop was what, because that was the only one that piqued my interest outside of the Batman one.
Yeah, he said
was a buddy cop show.
Yeah, he said True Detective style.
That's less okay. It's just DC Grid again. Then never mind.
Yep. Only watching if they get Ryan Reynolds back. No, I'm sure that is not happening, Grandpa Joe.
I wish. I wish.
Sure.
He was good.
Okay. By the way, my wife's in there saying Viola Davis as anything, and I will watch. Oh, really? We're gonna start watching a bunch of the stuff. She's already been Amanda Waller. You just bit off more than you could chew, because Amanda Waller's already a thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lanterns.
At least the stuff that Amanda Waller's in at the moment is, well, no. Let me take that back.
She was in both Suicide Squad movies.
Yeah, don't watch the first. If he tries to make you watch the first Suicide Squad movie, don't do it. It's a waste of your time.
Just the second one.
Okay.
And then Peacemaker.
Yeah, Peacemaker was, by all accounts, pretty good.
So Lanterns, I'm looking forward to. The Authority, I don't know enough about that title to speak to it.
That again looks like
it's a really obscure one.
Well, and it's it looks like
evil Guardians of the Galaxy.
So it's Peacemaker again, like it's Suicide Squad again, like it's dumb Guardians of the Galaxy again, kind of thing, right? Like this is where I keep saying, I'm like, you're doing the one trick pony a lot here, James. Like, come on, man, you got to give us something else. Like Zero Desire.
Okay. After the Authority, we get to the other one that, based on his description, I'm actually looking forward to. Paradise Lost. And so his description of Paradise Lost for the audience is a Game of Thrones style show that takes place on Themyscira, the birthplace of Wonder Woman, but before the birth of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Exploring the politics and social politics of a matriarchal society on Themyscira in a Game of Thrones style. This is going to be on HBO. They really hyped up the HBO side because, again, HBO is known for prestige TV programming, a la Last of Us.
Yep.
Game of Thrones, The Wire. I mean, they've got a history of this. This one could be interesting, depending on who they get as the showrunner.
It could be, and it'll be interesting to see.
I would watch a political, like, Game of Thrones style, like, show with Amazons on Themyscira. Like, I would watch that.
And here's the thing, though. You're gonna go to an all-woman Amazonian society, Game of Thrones style.
Yes.
And all that Game of Thrones entails, if you get what I'm putting up.
I don't know if he's gonna go full R-rated with it. I don't know.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
Again, who's the showrunner?
Yeah,
tell me who
throw
the
something
showrunner
out
is.
there. Like, let's get some death, let's get some murder, let's get some sexy time, let's get some political intrigue, let's get all of it in there. If you want to truly be different than Marvel,
if it was that, would you be interested in it?
It's the only other one that I am interested in.
Okay.
Because if it does do Game of Thrones, okay, you got me something there I could put some meat into, and like the political intrigue, the backstab, all that stuff. That could be interesting. But I don't think James Gunn and them are gonna go, like, if you want to be the anti-Marvel, that's what you do. You put out gritty, that kind of style.
So gritty, but not Snyder gritty.
Not
I don't like
Snyder was chody, not gritty.
Snyder was chody.
That was different.
All right. Movie one, Batman
Boobs
the
and
Brave
murder.
and the Bold.
Not a bad idea.
Right after this.
You could. That's the short sell right there.
What?
Just chat, put it in there. Boobs and murder.
Boobs
there you
and
go.
murder. There
That's
you go.
what it is.
Boobs and murder. So we get Themyscira with boobs and murder. Batman the Brave and the Bold. So this is going to be our actual Batman, based on the description. I thought we were going to get a younger Batman along with a younger Superman. Apparently not, because this will introduce Batman. I'm guessing mid-ish career, because the primary person that Batman will be interacting with. So this will introduce the entire Bat family, and for those that follow the Batman comics, you'll understand what I'm about to say. So his Robin in this film is going to be Damian Wayne.
Yep.
Which is interesting. Which means, and they specifically mentioned in the announcement that the whole Bat family will be in it, which means, but if Damian Wayne is the Robin, that means you're getting Nightwing Dick Grayson, Red Hood Jason Todd, because he's already been through those two Robins by the time Damian shows up.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have Batgirl. You will have the full Bat family.
Yeah.
By the time Damian Wayne shows up.
It's Batman's of the Galaxy.
You really are just.
I just. Yeah.
You just on him on this one.
Yeah. I may label this YouTube video Batman's of the Galaxy.
You said you wanted to watch Damian try and stab his dad a few
Oh,
times.
absolutely! I want to watch that because
you know that's gonna happen because he was trained by the League of Assassins and.
No. I want to see a petulant child pissed off at his rich, entitled asshole dad.
Who didn't know he existed.
Exactly.
Because Damian's mother, the daughter of Ra's al Ghul,
yes,
hid him from Bruce after she bagged him and ran.
Only if Ra's al Ghul is Liam Neeson again will I accept this.
Okay.
Like, give me full. Hell, give me not Christopher Nolan's, but give me Christopher Nolan's setup. Then give me Christian Bale as an older Batman and having to deal with a petulant child.
I like that idea.
Love that. That'd be fantastic.
I love that idea.
I think it would be fantastic.
Can we get Joseph Gordon-Levitt back as Dick Grayson?
Yeah,
but Nightwing.
But
Nightwing Dick Grayson.
Hi.
With Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
James.
Hey,
James, how you doing, buddy? I know I was just giving you shit, but I got $1 million idea for you. maybe $1 billion if we go overseas with this. All right, I got it for you, man.
And you know they will.
I mean, if I were them, I would go overseas with it all day long. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, James, you know who to call. I got you. We can do the casting and everything like that.
You know what? I love this idea. I actually legit
Anne
I love that
Hathaway?
idea.
Bring Anne Hathaway back.
Oh yeah,
If
she's
need
gonna
be.
have all kinds of jealous with him having banged Talia al Ghul. And all that. Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm on board.
That fight right there with it. You know.
Oh yeah, Talia and Catwoman. Yeah, no, I'm on board.
All day long. Yeah.
I'm on board.
Because she was a good Catwoman. I thought she was a good one. You know.
Now again, we need a universe reset for this because they, while not outright saying it, they intimated that the CW shows existed in the Bale Batman universe when they did the Crisis stuff. Because when they go get Batwoman and all that stuff, it's a post Batman has disappeared world.
Yeah.
Right? And when they go to Gotham, like, boy, that Scarecrow and Bane mask look an awful lot like the ones from the Bale movies. Right?
I mean,
and Batman has disappeared. Like, in that universe, Batman had left.
Yeah, he left. He abandoned us, just like he abandoned Dick, his son. I'm just saying.
So, yeah. All right.
$1 million idea for you right there.
I like it. Booster Gold, I don't know enough about that title to speak on it.
I don't either, but he described them as he's a comic relief character. He's a loser from the future that uses future technology to make himself look like a superhero.
He comes back in time to do it, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what kind of humor it is. If it's like Shazam level humor, then I'm out. I'm not kosher with that. But like,
yeah,
we'll see. The thing that a lot of DC movies have missed through the entire Snyderverse, through a lot of the
Snyderverse, yeah.
Through a lot of the CW stuff, with the exception of maybe Arrow and some of the stuff with the Flash, is personality.
Oh, come on. They had the good stuff with Constantine and stuff.
Okay, one thing of Constantine was okay. Yeah. Keanu Reeves is Constantine always, frankly. But it has lacked personality. It's been like an underrated movie. It's like a grimy piece of paper on top of a piece of toast.
Look, you and I we've done this, and you all can go back and watch old YouTube videos if you want to hear us talk about this. You and I agree on that point. Let's finish running through the slate real quick. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Could be good. Again, this is Kara Zor-El being raised on a chunk of Krypton. It's based on one of the runs that's actually pretty recent, one of the comic runs, where she spends 14 years on a chunk of Krypton watching everyone die. So this is an edgy Supergirl.
But again, it's how they... It's how it connects with the Superman and how it connects with the rest of the world. It could be interesting. I think it's going to be more cringe.
Could be.
I'm just saying. I've never actually known James Gunn to do anything emotional. So I guess it's going to be dependent upon who's writing this.
Well, he's not directing all of these films.
I understand that, but I'm just saying he is the head of the studio with Saffron, which means he sets the tone. You know, it's like I'm a creative director in my day job. I set the tone. I set the way the ship is going. You know, that's your job as a creative director, and that's essentially what he is.
He's done a lot of horror. I'm looking at his IMDb page right now. He's done a lot of horror. He did movies 43. Jesus. He was one of the writers. I'm sorry, James. Jeez. That movie was terrible.
What movie was this? Hold on, I didn't.
Movie 43.
Oh, okay.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that in a second because I see your point. Last thing on the new slate to talk about, Swamp Thing, which they describe as.
Alex hit his desk again and fucked his computer up, I bet. I'm just going to keep talking because he looks frozen as shit. Swamp Thing is the last thing on the list. That one, to James Gunn's credit of doing horror and the things that come along with it, could be good, though I think Wes Craven already did a really good one. So here's, I guess, before I even knew it was DC back in the day, Wes Craven's Swamp Thing was actually pretty good.
Could be.
Hi, welcome back. You've been frozen on my screen for like 2 minutes while I've been explaining what Swamp Thing is.
Oh, while you were explaining.
Your computer died and now it's back.
It didn't die. That was weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a network error.
Yep.
That's weird.
I've been explaining Swamp Thing and saying that the Wes Craven version was actually pretty good and giving it some props.
Yeah. Again, it could be.
It could be good. If James Gunn has done, James Gunn has done a lot of horror, like you said before you went all frozen on me.
Yeah.
If he's directing it or has a lot of hand in it,
James
it could
Wan
be good.
with Blumhouse too, because he's partnered
Yeah.
with Richard Blum. There's 4 of these that I'm looking forward to. That I'm like, okay, so Superman Legacy, Lanterns, Paradise Lost, Batman the Brave and the Bold. I'm like, okay, I like what you're showing me so far. Let's see what you do. Waller, I'm middle on. The Authority, I don't know enough about. Creature Commandos, I don't know enough about. Booster Gold, I don't know enough about. Yeah. I think there's potential here. I want to see who he gets to write and direct these movies.
I will say too that I think a lot of this now comes down to you can almost judge. You can judge a little bit, maybe 50% of how the DC universe is going to come out based on what Guardians of the Galaxy 3 does. Because he was the main writer of that movie.
Yeah.
So
Which
what
looks like
that
it's
does,
the Rocket story.
I think it does look like it's the Rocket story. So I think you can kind of get a little bit of a sense of what DC, at least in the first 4, 5, 6 films and series, are going to be like based upon where his headspace was for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yeah.
What I really want to see is the art direction. Because
That'll tell you a lot.
that will tell us a ton. Are we going more
Yep.
Peacemaker? Is that the look and feel for the DC going forward? I hope not, because I didn't really care for it as much.
I don't think it's going to be dark, because his thing, and he said this a couple months ago, him and Safran were talking about, like, Superman is supposed to embody hope, right? And light and good things, right? I don't want another Snyderverse. I don't.
No.
Dark and gritty can be there. That's fine.
Yes.
There
There could be moments.
And like street level stuff is good. One of the suggestions I heard today was have Ben Affleck direct the new Batman movie.
I would be interested to see how that works out.
I think he's a good director. I mean, Argo and a bunch of the other films that Affleck has directed
go
are
fuck
good.
Yourself.
Oh yeah, such a great movie. Affleck's a talented director, and I think that with the right writing crew, I think they could make a really good movie. I think Affleck understands Batman, so I think that would be a good way to go. Superman again. I'm surprised we didn't get more information.
So Matt Reeves, Peter Craig, Bob Kane wrote the Batman. I think you could have a little bit of stuff from that in there too. The thing that I thought Affleck brought to Batman was a more down to earth version of Bruce Wayne in a suit that I think nobody's been able to do just yet. And I was with him until he brought a fucking machine gun out of the Batmobile, and then I was like, okay,
so
no.
I'm gonna throw it back. Here's what I want out of the Batman they put in the DCU. This Brave and Bold Batman.
Yeah.
And you and I talked about this when we did our Kevin Conroy tribute video.
Yep.
Which you guys can find on YouTube. Kevin Conroy was the only guy that I thought successfully portrayed both Bruce Wayne and Batman well.
Yes.
Right? Every other actor we've seen in that role does one or the other a little bit better.
Yes.
I think that I want to see another actor who can do both. That's the key for me. I don't want one or the other.
I believe that Christian Bale has probably come the closest.
Probably.
Out of them all. Robert Pattinson's version of Batman, was too much.
Too much Batman.
Too much Batman. Michael Keaton,
closer.
Third on that list, probably.
Yeah.
Clooney
was only Bruce Wayne.
Clooney was only, well, and Clooney, I think Clooney only can play one type of character in any movie. And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
In my opinion, he is the worst Batman that's ever been there. And I love Clooney. I really do.
Worse than Val Kilmer?
Yes. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Val Kilmer was a better Batman than Clooney.
I mean, I'd rather face off against Clooney than Val Kilmer in a fist fight. So yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Yeah. and again, actually, the way Kilmer kind of explained things to Chris O'Donnell as Robin, where he was like, "You don't want this. You don't want to be out there." Like, I appreciated his performance as Batman. I actually like Batman Forever.
Yeah,
I thought Tommy Lee Jones was fun as Two-Face. I thought Jim Carrey was fun as the Riddler.
They were fantastic.
I don't have the hate for Batman Forever that a lot of other people do. I actually prefer it to Batman Returns.
Yeah, actually, I think I do too.
In that weird Burton-esque weird time frame we went through, like, are those connected? Yeah, they're all sequels. I didn't like Clooney as Batman.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're gonna get some Robins. It's been a long time since we had a proper Robin.
Well, I think we're getting a lot of that's just the popular in the, I hate to call it like this, that's popular in the meta. You know? Titans was there, what's that show, the video game that came out? Like,
Batman and Robin together are an iconic duo in the comic books.
And yet we've never actually seen them be an iconic duo outside of like Batman Forever.
And that's my point, is that I want to see a good movie with Batman and Robin, right? Yeah. I want to see a Robin. I like the character Nightwing. I like where they're going with that concept. Again, tell me who the director is.
Yeah.
Let me know whose vision you're going with here.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If nothing else, I think we can say this. It's ballsy.
It's a very
it's a gutsy move.
Yeah, Zaslav has put a lot of faith in these two. Yeah. And I would love to have seen what the pitch deck looked like to make
Me too.
This.
Shit, yeah.
What it took to get them on board and what animatics or whatever they like, just as a creative director, I would love to have been in the room to see that, just because I would love to know what it took to get him to sign on to these. Like, to look at it, to have him, like, if nothing else, you had James Gunn and Safran looking at this guy and going, here is the face of your new franchise for the next 10 years.
Let's count this out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 feature films are going to cost $200 million each. There's $800 million. Each one of those live action shows is going to cost them $100 million. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Each of the animated series are going to cost them $60, $70 million at least. I'm not counting the Elseworld stuff that's already in production. I mean, yeah, they've got to walk into Zaslav's office and go, here's how we're going to spend your next $1.5 billion. That's a lot of money. Well, and that's before marketing.
That depends on how much they're spending per episode on some of that stuff too.
I'm just talking about the movies. None of those movies are going to come in with a price tag lower than $200 million.
Not for the
Superman,
for the
Batman
amount of it. I mean, it depends on the amount of CGI and things you need to do in some of those, but like, you know, if you think about it, like Bridgerton and The Crown are like $7 million an episode. House of Dragons is like $20 million an episode.
Comes down to salaries.
I understand that, but it's still stuff that you got to take into account, right? Like per episode.
I think you can bring in some unknowns on some of this stuff, like Lanterns.
They're gonna have to.
We don't need established actors. Paradise Lost. You don't need established actors. Bring in new people.
Yeah, but it does take a lot more work to find those people.
That's true.
And get through that, right? Like, you know, when you've got Marvel spending $25 million an episode for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, you got to bring it, and there's going to be a lot of bringing they're going to have to do. And I think, and I kind of wonder if they're banking on Marvel continuing to mess up like they did in Phase 4. I don't see it because I see Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania being a pivotal film coming up.
And I am really, really looking forward to that. Which, by the way, when is it? Like 2 weeks from now?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta buy tickets to that soon.
Yeah, obviously we will have, you know, it's February 17th. Obviously we will have a show on that. We'll bring in everybody else has seen it, but we'll bring in the show and everything like that because we will do our usual recaps for it. It'll be a spoiler cast for those.
Yep. So there's our DC slate.
Yeah. By the way, off the record or on the record, but slightly off kilter, the Batman Forever soundtrack was fire. Just starting
Batman
with
Forever,
starting
Batman
with
Forever
U2.
is underrated.
It really was, because if you're getting in the Tim Burton kind of like flavor to a lot of this kind of stuff, you know, it really was good. Batman Returns was really good because I thought that Danny DeVito played a hell of a penguin. You know, Michelle Pfeiffer doing Catwoman I thought was good. Like, you know, there's pretty decent stuff, you know.
It's okay. Yeah, no, the Batman Forever soundtrack was absolutely fire.
Yeah. Yeah, you had U2, you had PJ Harvey, you had Massive Attack, Mazzy Star, Offspring, Nick Cave, like Method Man jumped in there. I love the fact that Method Man is just the go-to Wu-Tang Clan member when they need a soundtrack. Track, like, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's cool. But yeah, it encompassed 1995 when it came out, so that's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. And again, I remember like the collectible McDonald's glasses that I actually got from that movie when I was out there. I love it. All right,